So I got a perfect spot for LeBron. Since LeBron wants to put up these pedestrian numbers, why don't he just go to the Wizards like Michael Jordan did? If you don't want to retire, don't mess up a winning team because obviously putting up these numbers is not going to get it. Cleveland don't want this. They don't. So you can blame Jared Allen for having an off game and he's a role player, or you can blame, Tyson for not having a great game and he's a role player for your excuse to have 13, 17, 20 points. At 52 million, if you ain't getting a double double every night, which includes 24 points a game, you're not worth it. And you already see the Wizards is becoming the place where players die. You've seen Kyle Kuzma die there. You've seen Russell Westbrook die there. You've seen Chris Middleton die there. Chris Middleton and Kyle Kuzma won NBA championships. Now they got injury prone Anthony Davis, who won the championship in the bubble with LA, but he's been injury prone his whole career. And Dallas was supposed to be a championship contender. And he can't even stay on the court, Anthony Davis. So LeBron, he loves playing with Anthony Davis. You got Trae Young and a young core. I feel like LeBron would be better off with the Wizards than Cleveland. At least you can say if LeBron fails and AD is not, healthy to help Trae Young, you can say, well, they were old anyway, and we knew AD was injury prone. Instead of going to Cleveland, messing them up because they underachieving already, by having home court advantage the last 2 years in the playoffs and then getting knocked out the first round and the second round, or the second round 2 years in a row, once to Indiana, once in New York. Now you bring LeBron over there who's not capable of making teams win anymore? That'd be crazy. Go to the Washington Wizards just like Jordan did. You want to be like Jordan so much, you keep chasing Jordan so much, you're not getting another ring. Go to the Wizards and see if you can take the Wizards to the finals with Anthony Davis and Trae Young, or see if you can get the Wizards out the first or second round. That'll be a better feat than you going to Cleveland and y'all getting put out in the second round again. And they're like, oh, he had James Harden, Donovan Mitchell, and this and that, and he still couldn't win a championship because Trae Young is injury prone too, kind of. So, you know what I mean? You could be eaten in Washington. So, I feel like LeBron James should just go to the Wizards, just like Michael Jordan, bro. Because this ain't making sense, man. And the Wizards is where players go to die. Like I said, Chris Middleton, NBA champion, died there. Russell Westbrook, multiple times MVP, died in Washington. Went to the Lakers, had one bad year. He was playing for $4 million a year at one time. And then you got Kyle Kuzma. He's only scoring 11 points a game, 12 points a game in Milwaukee after he was sent to Washington for, Russell Westbrook. So I feel like the Wizards is the team where players go to die, but LeBron James and AD might be able to reunite there. It was a bad week for the Lakers, and it was a bad week for LeBron. And this is what I'm talking about. The Lakers need to move on from LeBron James. And you hear people in the comments saying DeAndre Ayton had 2 points for, or he had 8 points. No! If DeAndre Ayton had 2 points, LeBron should have 32. He should drive to the hole instead of being a spot up 3 point shooter. This is ridiculous. Look at these numbers from LeBron James this past week: 13, 20, 21, 17. That is unacceptable. That's mediocrity. That's Jordan with the Wizards. Now, I don't even think Jordan with the Wizards had a week this bad. And you always say LeBron James is 41, but LeBron James has Luka Doncic with him at age 41. Jordan ain't never have a player like Luka Doncic when he played for the Wizards. So I feel like now the media, like Lakers Nation, is saying DeAndre Ayton ain't it. DeAndre Ayton is not supposed to lead us to the promised land. LeBron James is. And at 52 million, this is terrible. This is an atrocity. Like, you can't even look for LeBron James at the end of the games no more. I think Luka made a big mistake in the Orlando game by giving LeBron and James the ball. He ain't won it. He ended up missing a big free throw that allowed Orlando to win the game at the end of the game. He can't play defense. I mean, this is ridiculous. Like, LeBron needs to retire. I don't even want to see him go to Cleveland. And Cleveland probably watching this and be like, yo, LeBron James cannot help anyone win a championship. He would have to go to a stacked squad with Donovan Mitchell, Evan Mobley. Who else you got? Jared Allen and James Harden. James Harden, you're not going to have James Harden and LeBron in the same team unless LeBron plays for nothing. But we heard LeBron say that he does not want to play for nothing. He does not want to be that guy that hang around too long. And if you take a pay cut, that's indicating you played too long. So I don't see LeBron going anywhere but staying in LA or retiring. But this week is a prime example why the Lakers should move on and do not re-sign LeBron James. This was a terrible showing this week. They lost 3 out of 4. Only when they did uh accomplish was against the Clippers without James Harden and Darius Garland, because Harden got traded to Cleveland and Garland was hurt. So you lose, you get blown out by the Celtics, didn't even show up on national TV. Lose to a young Orlando team, and then lose to the Suns without Devin Booker and Dylan Brooks. That's a game you should have won by 10. And LeBron only had 17 points. But they want to blame DeAndre Ayton. DeAndre Ayton, 10 or 14 points or 8 rebounds, whatever you expected DeAndre Ayton to get. He only averages 12. So what was he supposed to do? You paying LeBron James $52 million because you think he's a championship player. But he only had 17 points. Now, you didn't hear anything from ESPN or the NBA channels talking about how great LeBron was. They had 4 days to criticize LeBron and they didn't. They start criticizing Luka, complaining about the refs. So this LeBron Laker thing isn't working, and I feel like JJ Redick has to go too. Marcus Smart, he too old. Hachimura's years he's like 5 years past his prime. Everybody is 5 years past their prime on this team because LeBron is making too much money. We paying guys 5 million, 8 million. I think Rui gets like 13 or 14 million. He can go because ever since JJ Redick moved him to the bench and tried to make him a 6-man, he's been playing uninspiring, and it just ain't working. So I think LeBron and the Lakers need to separate after this season.
Didn't make a call. Lakers are getting back. LeBron James got loose, caught it, and dunked it down. My goodness.
That is just, I mean, he just ran right to the rim, and no Magic player picked him up.
How do you lose LeBron James? 2-second differential, game and shot clock. Who's going to step up big for the Magic? Banchero. He'll drive. Pull up. Jumper up. That one short. Fought for by Black. He has it. Carter has it. Put back up and in. Wendell Carter Jr. Have yourself a night.
10. Coffee comes up to set the screen. Allen gets a switch with Doncic stepping out. Grayson on the drive. Drops it off. Touch pass. O'Neal. Lets it fly. Boom! Rolls Royce from down.
It's time for Luka Doncic to quit being nice. I mean, he has to quit being nice and don't pass LeBron the ball at the end of games to initiate the offense. Because against Orlando, he did that, and LeBron act like he did not want the ball. And then when he had an opportunity to get the ball to make a meaningful impact in the game, he bricked the free throw that helped Orlando go down and score a basket that put them up by a couple of points. And then Luka had to come save them, and then Orlando scored a game winner. So they had 5 seconds left, and Luka tries to pass it to LeBron, and LeBron didn't have no time to shoot it. He didn't make a conscious move. He just flared it up in the air. And this is what I mean. Luka has to be an asshole. I know LeBron James, a lot of people say he's the greatest of all time. Most people say he's second. Some people think he's third behind Kobe. But most people think LeBron is an all-time great. But the thing is, he's not the guy that Luka Doncic is. Luka Doncic needs to take ownership and quit being so nice. In the last 2 minutes of the game, if LeBron is up, not moving without the ball, and he's just standing stationary, don't give him the ball because he's already looking to pass it. LeBron isn't a closer. So you're that closer the Lakers brought over to handle this situation. LeBron's going to be gone after this year or maybe next year. I think he's going to be gone after this year because they're 6 in the West. They was number 3 in the West last year. So it's a digression. If they don't come up, they can possibly get put out in the first round. They should hope they get a young team like Houston, but the thing is, the young teams are more athletic and they can play defense, and that's what the Lakers lack. So I feel like, you know, Luka has to quit being nice. Luka has to take over games at the end of the game and look for LeBron cutting to the basket, look for the Rui Hachimura for three, look for the lob to Ayton or Jackson Hayes, whoever's in the game, and you initiate the offense. In a close game like it was against Orlando, you should not be coming up the court, bringing the ball up to the three-point line and passing it to LeBron James. If you do, you should be asking for it back. Luka was nice enough to respect LeBron James, saying, we pay you all this money. The Lakers think highly of you still. Here's the ball. You make something happen. When Luka was the one that was making most of the things happen in the third quarter. But Orlando do got a stingy defense because Luka was stifled. But I think part of the reason he was stifled because he was trying to get LeBron in the game. Against the Clippers, if it wasn't for Luka's 38, the Clippers would have won. And like I said, they lost to Phoenix, but Luka got him back in the game. He had like 48 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists, something around there. But LeBron just couldn't pick up the slack. And you can see the defensive liability they are. They could leave Royce O'Neal wide open for a game-winning three. Why are you collapsing for Connor Gillespie? Or why are you collapsing to you should not collapse for Connor Gillespie or Grayson Allen. You're collapsing and leaving your man wide open for three for Connor Gillespie and Grayson Allen. Now Jalen Green, he has a bag at some time, but you gotta guard that 3-point shot. You can let him get a 3-point shot, but not wide open. Royce O'Neal was open for a wide open role player special, and he hit it. And it caused the Lakers to lose the game. So you got to treat LeBron like the second, third option he is. You know what I mean? Austin Reeves, you know what I mean? He might have to be the second option. At least he can generate some kind of offense and is a better free throw shooter than LeBron James. Now, watch LeBron James have a couple more good games this year, like 30 and 40, and everybody will be glazing him again. But don't forget about the mediocre weeks he had before that. I feel like this week was just bad if you were a Laker fan. If you were a Laker fan, you hated this week. Like, because it exposed who the Lakers really are. And JJ Redick, I feel like he's not a good coach for this team. So if LeBron leaves, they need to get rid of JJ Redick. Look at Frank Vogel. Frank Vogel is the coach of the Phoenix Suns now, and they're like 6th or 7th, and they got the same type of record the Lakers got without Dylan Brooks, without Devin Booker most of the season. And Frank Vogel has them playing good defense. Frank Vogel was the coach of the Lakers when they won the championship in the bubble. So I don't know if they need to get Ty Lue in there, but they got to get rid of JJ Redick because you can be you can have bad players on defense, but you can play good team defense. I don't know how many all first team all pro defensive players the Cleveland Cavs got, or the Houston Rockets got, or Orlando Magic got, but Orlando Magic and Houston play some real good defense, and I believe it's team defense. They don't allow people to shoot threes. Role players now forget to miss layups. They don't know how to make layups no more. All they do is pass the ball out and go to the 3-point line and stand there. So what Orlando does is we're not giving you threes because they know people, the mid-range game is gone and the drive to the hole game is gone. So that's why Orlando and Houston play such great defense. JJ Redick needs to teach that defense or have somebody on his coaching staff teach that defense because this defense is atrocious. And LeBron, I feel like LeBron probably knew his time in Lakers land was done, so he tried to get his friend job coaching and get him some head coaching experience before he retired. And that just backfired. Like, you getting eliminated in the first round when you got Luka Doncic and LeBron James, and you blaming it on role players like the defense. No, you gotta blame the stars, bro. You gotta blame the stars.
I'm leaving the Lakers once summer arrives because I'm tired of carrying these 14 McDonald's workers every game. It's literally me and 14 burger flippers out there.
Deep, LeBron needs help. He finds Luka to beat the clock.
This is when he's at his best, when he's improvising. Oh my goodness, you got it.
Lead back up to 19. Doncic has to work expeditiously and got it to go off glass.
Going to try his hand at defending Doncic. Doncic down low, and he flicks it up, and he's going.
I just mentioned it'll win tonight. They get win number 50. What a fake! Doncic broke his ankles in the corner. Finney Smith. It's a free.
Nothing ruins free agency or the excitement of free agency to fans than a franchise tag. And after the season, when Seattle won the Super Bowl, that made everyone happy because New England ain't win it. But everybody was saying, where would George Pickens go? Should Denver get George Pickens? Should the Eagles get George Pickens? Should Buffalo go after George Pickens? And the Cowboys have rumors of slapping him with the franchise tag. Now, if I was George Pickens, with the amount of teams that's interested in him, I would hold out. Because, okay, $28 million is fine, but if George Pickens have a bad season or gets hurt, they're going to even try to franchise him again or don't give him the long-term contract. You know, contracts aren't guaranteed. You only guaranteed that big signing bonus. Only a few people got fully guaranteed contracts, and they wasn't wide receivers. They were quarterbacks. Deshaun Watson with $300 million and Kirk Cousins, 3 years, $80 million. George Pickens' only leverage is to hold out and force a trade. George Pickens was a bright spot for the Cowboys who didn't make the playoffs. CeeDee Lamb held out, and he said he wished he didn't because, you know, his chemistry with Dak was off. So whose fault is that? That's the Cowboys' fault for not locking up CeeDee Lamb and locking up, you know, Dak Prescott. And you like, okay, we can lock you up later and franchise you so we can sign other teams to get the win. But if players get hurt, they're not getting no contract after that. So George Pickens has a lot of teams that want him. Force a trade. Maybe Dallas can get 2 first-round picks or a first and a third form. A first, third, and second form, or 2 seconds and a third form. Like, force Dallas's hand. Just don't gladly sign a franchise tag. And this don't make Dallas look like a mess anyway. You know what I mean? That's bad pub. If George Pickens played his heart out and was your number 1 receiver last year and you don't want to give him a contract, you want to franchise him, trade Hendrickson for the Cincinnati Bengals. He should hold out. You can't let these teams keep franchise tagging you, bro. Hendrickson came to camp, he held out, but he came and ended up playing anyway. So give him the long-term deal or let these free agents go and get money elsewhere because it's a lot of interest in George Pickens and Hendrickson. Like, George Pickens is probably the top receiver or the top free agent on the market. You got Mike Evans, but he's kind of long in the tooth. You know what I mean? You got Pierce from the Colts, who's a deep threat, but he doesn't present the same problems George Pickens does. George Pickens is a true number 1 receiver on the market. You just don't franchise a tag like that. And if I was George Pickens, I would not accept that franchise tag. I would hold out.
Blitz coming. Prescott over the middle. It is caught in stride. George Pickens again. And he's down to the 21.
From the 31-yard line. Prescott airing it out deep downfield. And Pickens was there but covered. Incomplete. Maddox was there as well.